big sound in a small town, far away from the big city lights, making music every night. Good music with all our friends. Tell everybody, tell your mama and them, we're going out and we're getting down. A big sound in a small town. A big sound in a small town. A big sound in a small town. A big sound in a small town.
Hi, and welcome to Big Sound Small Town. I'm your host, Sandy Carlton, and this is a podcast about the lives and stories of the musicians, writers, artists, and their associates that have their roots in the small towns and communities across America. If you like what you hear, tell somebody. Enjoy.
Cuss words, keeping them under my tongue. Need a little time off bad behavior. The devil let me done been asleep too long. Need a little time off bad behavior. It looks like I've been too good for too long. I feel still right. On my mind a while, I've been fighting off the herd to call. Is a pretty little Kings Mountain girl with a southern drawl. And there's some good old boys come from Grassy Pond. They said the fishermen are missing me. Oh, and I need to renew my friendship with Jim B. Need a little time off for bad behavior. The devil let me done been asleep too long. Need a little time off for bad behavior. It looks like I've been too good for too long. Oh, little time.
Hey, today Big Sound Small Town is in the Don Gibson Theater. Shout out and thanks to Stan Lowry. He made all this happen in here. And my guest today is Kevin Dedmon of Dirty Grass Soul, and he has some announcements to make about a special project that they did right here in the Don Gibson Theater. All right, Kevin, you up?
Yes, sir. Yeah, and thank you for having me on the podcast, Sandy. This is first off, I think it's awesome what you've done with the podcast. We were talking, and I'm honored. I was the first guest you ever had on it.
Yes,
so this is my second time on the show, but I knew when you came at me with the idea of your podcast for the very first one, I thought what an awesome idea it was that somebody was doing that. And I was honored to be the first guest of it. And now I'm equally as honored to now that your show's picked up traction and steam, to be back on here and promote our record. So we've got a new double live album coming out next Friday. When people are listening to this podcast, I guess you said it's going to air on a Tuesday. So it's coming out on May 27th. That'll be Friday, May 27th is when the album will come out.
And then we'll do it. What is next?
And next Tuesday, I guess, is when the listeners are going to be hearing this for the first time. So yeah, when you're hearing this for the first time, our album is actually coming out May 27th, Friday. It's available for pre-order on our website right now, but it'll be available on all the streaming platforms and all that May 27th.
Which is what people use so much these days.
It is.
So, all right, tell me where this concept for this live show came.
Really, I mean, I've always loved live albums, just the energy of live albums, and our vibe as a band. I'm proud of everything we've done in the studio, but there's always been like this energy about our live show that it is so hard to duplicate in a studio environment, and especially when you're an independent band like we are, the recording process. Really, a lot of some of the records that we're trying to compete, not compete. I guess compete.
Yeah, I guess compete.
But I hate using the word competition in music because I think it's all subjective.
It is.
You know what I'm saying? And some of the Nashville cats, I guess, they're spending ungodly amounts of money, and we're producing everything ourselves. And so we were trying to capture that lightning in a bottle of our live show, and what better way to do that than just record a live album? Your live show is pretty much what you guys are famous for. I mean,
yes, sir. You burn down the house everywhere you go, so it's the, they get to take that home with the record, but
yes, sir.
They'd rather see you live.
Yeah, and that's what we'd rather play live. True. I mean, that's just our thing. That's when we get the most enjoyment out of doing, the music and everything is performing live.
So how did this process come about?
Really, it started during the quarantine times when we were having to do a lot of virtual concerts online and doing the Facebook Live deal. We did one at Teddy and Meekin's, the TNT Listening Loft sessions, and we recorded it and mixed it, and when we listen back to it, we're like, man, there's a couple of these songs that I really wound up liking the sound of better than our studio version. And it was just because it was recorded live. It wasn't recorded, tracking drums and coming in and laying down a guitar. It was all of us in a room together, and very simple, but we recorded it, tracked it out now in Pro Tools, obviously, so you could mix it and, do that. But the recording process was all live for those, and it kind of planted the seed in my mind. We did 2 or 3 shows like that during the COVID-19 lockdown, and each one of them I felt like we got a little bit better at figuring out how to record our sound live. And I was like, shoot, well, let's just, now that we got people back in the crowd, let's just make a live album, And
so how did you choose what you were going to do on this for the live show? Did you make this up along the way, or did you have a set list?
We did. I mean, we had certain songs that we knew we definitely wanted to have on it, and then, like I said, we kind of ventured off all of our shows. We wind up. We have some kind of Easter eggs, I guess, on the CD that people won't expect. Like Chris, we just caught the urge to let him sing "Killing Time" that night. That's a Clint Black cover, and some stuff like that on there that we normally wouldn't put on our album, or our War Pigs Orange Blossom special. People had been wanting that. Our Glory Train, we do when we do that one live, it usually is like a 10-minute medley of a bunch of different songs, and it was something that would have not really worked as well in the studio.
True.
The energy of that, I don't think would transpose over near as well as it does doing it live. And so we're proud of how they turned out, man.
So did you bring somebody in to record this, and how did that work?
Aaron Meyer, who's
I know Aaron.
Aaron's done all of our
Yeah,
all of our records. We've worked with him together. He's who we all those quarantine sessions I'm talking about. We worked together, so it was like we had our method down, kind of knew what we wanted to do, how we were going to go about it, and yeah, it was.
He just came out live and did it.
Yeah, we're proud of it, man. Yeah, we're fortunate. We've kind of got the acquired the equipment through the years too to be able to do that and really refine our live sound. And I'm proud of it. I think Aaron did an awesome job on the mix.
Aaron is really awesome.
Yeah, he did a great job on it, and everybody played well that night. I was kind of the most nerve-wracking thing about doing a live album is, you know, it is what it is.
It is what it is.
You can obviously go back in on the back end and overdub things.
You can.
I wanted to avoid that if any way possible, just for the authenticity of it. And you know, the record is as is. There are a few foul notes on there, but that's part of what gives it character.
Oh,
and,
it is. Oh,
you know, it's not perfect, and that to me is what makes a great record. You know, is our imperfections.
That's a Dave Cobb thing. I think Jason Isbell one time sang the words backwards, and he wouldn't let it change it.
Yeah.
So I mean, you know, I think it makes it real.
It does, yeah. People mess up.
Yeah, they do.
We're not all perfectly in tune all the time or perfectly in rhythm on a click track all the time. So,
Dirty Grass Soul's been a long venture for you, hasn't it?
yes, sir. That show too was our 10-year
Right, that's what.
anniversary of our very first show, and so that was the other thing I wanted to make, like, that date special. It was our first time as Dirty Grass Soul playing here at the Gibson. We've played here before,
Right.
but not our own show. We've played here for like private events and have that. So,
Well, for information, do you remember that first show?
that we did here at the Gibson.
No, the very first
Oh
show.
yeah, I do. And actually, on our T-shirt that we made a T-shirt for the show. Our very first Dirty Grass Soul show was it was my 21st birthday.
Oh.
That's how I'll never forget it. February 5th, 2012 is when it was, and it was at Elliott Family Farms.
Yeah.
Back at the time, I was helping out the Elliott's with the Clear Mountain View Festival.
Sure,
I'd kind of
yeah.
helped them start that up there, and that was before the ball even got rolling on the festival. Though we just had shows, we would do shows out there, and then it kind of turned into the festival and everything. But yeah, that was our first show.
Okay.
And we were not called Dirty Grass Soul either. Little trivia fact:
What were you called?
it's embarrassing. I don't even want to say it. Called. At the time, I was like, Kevin Dedmon, obviously. I was like, well, let's do a play on the Dead Men. And we had a bunch of deadheads showing up thinking we were a Dead cover band. And then I was like, wait, we're going to have to change this name, boys. They're expecting us to cover a bunch of Grateful Dead songs the whole time. And learned real quick that was not that. And then I think we just came up with Dirty Grass Soul not long after that. We maybe played like a handful of shows as the Dead Men. Then it became Dirty Grass Soul shortly thereafter.
And you haven't had that many band members over this 10 years, have you?
No. So the original lineup was Drew Stallings on drums, Nick Patterson on guitar and harmonica, Lance on bass, and I was singing, obviously, and writing the songs and playing guitar and fiddle. And, Drew and Nick loved both those guys to death. There was never anything like dramatic or like that. It was basically, I was at the point in my life, I was 21 years old, just graduating school, and I'm kind of able to
Gung-ho and ready
go
to go.
go and get it. And they both had obligations with their families and their jobs, which I commend them for. Those are
Those are
the
good.
things
Good.
that
Yes, I agree.
And but it just got to the point where I needed to have. And Lance was at the same kind of situation as me. He was kind of like, if I'm gonna
Do it, we
got to do it now.
Yeah, that's always. Young is the best way.
Yep.
It is.
It is, and Lance has been with me ever since day one of Dirty Grass Soul. Then we brought in Tyler Melton and Josh Allison had kind of drummed for us. Josh was with us kind of like on an interim basis, sort of, and then Jared, who's with us now, his dad Glenn was. We picked him up down playing Plum Hollow Festival, and then Jared came in to drum with us shortly thereafter, and a similar deal with Tyler once he graduated college.
Sure.
He had a really great job opportunity, and it's what he's doing now. And
Yeah.
we brought in Tommy.
Yeah.
And we can't seem to get rid of him either. He's stuck with us like a hair in a biscuit, is what he would say. So
He's got a lot of hair to be called.
Yeah, he does, yeah.
Yeah, he does. Well, that's really great. You want to talk about some future stuff?
yeah, we're lots of things coming up in the future. I'm just really excited kind of to see where this album leads us. We've got a DVD that we're kind of, or I say DVD, I'm still old school. Aaron makes fun of me when we're in the recording room. I'll say rewind instead
rewind,
of, he's like, playback, you mean? You can't rewind digital. Like, so I still say like DVD if I'm referring to a
do
YouTube
too.
video.
Sure.
I'll say we're making a DVD
Yeah.
even though it's just a video.
I'm the same way.
But we've got that coming out. We videoed the show that night. I'm looking forward to hopefully being able to release that around the same time
That would
as
be good.
when the CD comes out too. But got a lot of shows this summer. We're starting to tour outside the Carolinas now. We've got shows in Florida, Tennessee, Virginia, Ohio, Illinois. Been in Kansas earlier this year, and just
Yeah, that's reaching
trying
out
to-
farther. Yeah.
I wish diesel wasn't $5.60 a gallon right now. It's like, man, we're finally getting to where we can get out and play, and now it's like all our profits getting eat up pretty quick.
We've gone through, and with you've gone through the COVID time, and now the gasoline skyrocketing. Let's see. So can we make any money at this?
Yeah, I don't
Can
know.
we survive?
Hey,
you
if
know?
we can break even and pay our bills, that's all.
Well, that's good. That's a good thing.
Yeah, when people say, like, when you going to make it? That's what I always tell them all the time. Man, we made it a long time ago. Just, like, I think, and even my mom, like, defines making it, I think, is naturally hearing yourself on, like, the pop radio or, being on the CMA Awards or something like that. And honest to goodness, man, making it to me was is just being able to break even and just get to play music, man, and that's pretty cool to me. And anything above that is a bonus.
We had this talk probably this past weekend about being proud of where you at, being the local musician who represents
Yes, sir.
Cleveland County in a big way, and you said that you were happy with that. You were tickled to death to be that.
I am. Yeah, it's kind of something we carry like a badge of honor almost. Some of the time you hear the word local band, and I kind of will like draw up a little bit when I hear that, because I think some people use it to like put you in a box, like you're just a little local band.
Yeah, and it's almost demeaning.
Yeah, it is, and but at the same time, I take pride in being a local band to this area,
right?
And I'm so proud of where we're from,
but
you're doing all the
it,
history of this area. Man.
You're doing it from here, as opposed to taking this act to we'll use Nashville for lack of a better place at this point. But
yeah, I mean that naturally is where I feel like if you're kind of in the music game here on the East Coast, Nashville, Atlanta, Muscle Shoals, New York probably, but Nashville being that we're kind of roots and country and Americana kind of stuff, Nashville is the logical place, but there's so much pride. My family's here. Our roots are here. Lance's family's here. Chris's family. Tommy, is in Lincoln, and Jared and Glenn are right down the road in Campobello, and which is right outside of Spartanburg. So we're kids of the Carolinas, and I don't know. It almost is at this point, almost been like a challenge to me, just wanting to make it from being based out of here, in spite of all those people saying you should go to Nashville.
Well, I do totally understand that these days, because part of the whole deal with my podcast is I'm of the opinion that the musicians in the in our area, upstate South Carolina, Piedmont, North Carolina, Western North Carolina, as good as they are anywhere in the world.
Yes, sir.
I mean,
They
I
are,
believe
absolutely.
that. And so, you know, why leave here?
Yeah, and technology these days there was certainly a point in time, I think, where if you did want to get out there in the music business, you probably did have to mingle with, you know, the business side of it in Nashville or those guys. But now with the internet, it's got,
It
you know,
has changed.
It's hurt things like physical album sales, you know, because now everybody can go on the internet and listen to it for free.
Sure.
But at the same time, rather than just sitting here and knocking all the bad things it has done for the music industry, at the same time, we probably wouldn't be sitting here talking right now if it weren't for the internet, because a lot of the ways we've got out, you know, and people are saying like, well, how does somebody in Kansas know about Dirty Grass Soul? Or how does somebody, you know, they know because they saw us on the internet and found us on the internet, and the internet is the radio.
It is the radio. Yeah, I agree totally. And you know, that's one of the things that it does allow people to make music that probably would have had to make bigger sacrifices at a different time. I mean, you, at a different age, you probably would have had to taken yourself out of Cleveland County to do that.
Yes, sir.
So it's a good thing.
It is. Yeah, it's a good thing. It blows my mind some of the times, you know, the reach that the internet can have, and you don't even realize it.
True.
Like I said, the only knock is when you get the bill from CD Babies, who do my distribution with, and because we do it all ourselves,
Right.
And see that bill come in and those streaming numbers, you know, when you get that check from them, you're like, darn this internet thing.
Oh,
but
I know. I mean,
other than that, you know, I can't focus on that because there have been many positives as well from it.
And well, and that 17 cent, I'm speaking from my own, he probably gets like 40 cents, but that 17 cent royalty check that you get from the streaming services allows you, though, to continue to go out and make music and sell CDs and sell T-shirts and play music for people. Yeah,
it does. I mean, I look at the streaming services. It's here to stay.
It is.
So I think when a lot of people harp on, I do think that artists should be more fairly compensated for their work on there, because I think when you see a company like Spotify making billions of dollars, and then they're literally paying the artists. Their product is they are playing records that they're making money off of, and then they're paying the artists nothing. Yeah. And the artist spent thousands of dollars making them. But rather than harping on that, it is a great way to get your music out there, and people listen to it for free, and then hopefully if they hear it, they will then enjoy it enough to want to come to the live show and check out what it's about. Buy your T-shirt, buy admission to your show, and then that's where you can make money, is off the merchandise.
Sure,
and
that's the ticket these days,
yes,
really, it is. And, as I can tell, you did a really good job.
Thank you.
This is really nice.
Thank you.
And that is really, there again, we're talking merchandising and appeal, and that is a very appealing.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay.
I want to give a shout out to Zach Little with ZL Designs. He did our cover artwork there for the album, and I think he did a great job on it. I kind of told him some of the ideas that I had, and we got our song "Glory Train."
Yeah.
And I've always loved trains, regardless.
And I take it that's what that is.
Yes, sir. That's the Glory Train, and then little details like see he's got orange blossoms
I see
around
that on there too.
for just little details like that I love, and kind of it's got a little bit of a rustic vintage look to it as well, and I thought he did a great job on the design, so kudos to him.
Yep. And one of the beautiful things is, with the CDs and all these days, that you want to know who plays in the band, it's here.
Yeah.
You can't get that on the internet.
You can't.
This tells you who's there, and it's a beautiful thing.
Thank you. Yeah, we're proud of it. We're hopefully going to be doing a vinyl as well. We're in the process of getting all that lined up. It's like I said, on the CD we got 25 songs, 2 discs. Vinyl, you're limited to about roughly 20 minutes per side, on a vinyl. So we're gonna really to make it worthwhile, we're gonna have to do a double vinyl.
Oh,
and
yeah, well,
so the cost is sort of high on that. So we're trying to brainstorm different marketing ideas of how we're gonna do that. But that's something right on the docket for us, probably next up. And I've always wanted to do vinyl, and we're proud
Vinyl
of
is
this.
cool.
So, yeah.
I mean, it really is. Oh yeah, if you do vinyls, give me a chance. I'll write you some wonderful liner notes.
Oh yes, sir. Yes, sir. That'd be awesome.
But this has been a real good interview. I'm really tickled to have you here. There again, you were my first guest, and I intentionally made you the first guest because you're doing great stuff for music in Cleveland County.
Thank you. That means the world to me, Sandy. You're doing great things for music in Cleveland County.
It's fun. Cleveland County has stuff that needs to be, people need to know about.
It does, man. But your show has been awesome. I know I've caught several of the episodes anytime. I love listening to podcasts too. But you've had folks on there that are not from Cleveland County as well. I know one of my favorites. You had Miles Miller.
Yeah, Miles.
Who is probably my favorite band here as of probably the last 5-6 years. I just was really. There was a while when Sturgill Simpson's High Top Mountain album came out.
Oh, yeah.
That I just went down this rabbit hole. And then Meta Modern came out,
Yeah.
which I think he hired all like Nashville big hired guns on High Top Mountain.
Right.
Then Meta Modern was, in my opinion, probably my favorite album that
it's a
has come out
fabulous-
in my lifetime.
Yeah, it's a fabulous album.
People that say there's not good country music anymore, they just haven't found it. There's lots of great
There is.
country music nowadays. And Miles, the drummer for Sturgill.
Sure.
And
He's a fine singer, too, before I forget.
Yes. Yeah, I think he's coming out with some
Yeah,
solo stuff now.
he's
too.
a fine guitar player and singer, too.
He is, and I saw he was on here.
Yeah,
and,
he was, yeah.
That one was just one that popped to mind.
Do you know he and Sturgill Simpson went to the same high school?
Did not see the Kentucky boys, right?
Yeah, 15 years apart. But he's also playing with Chris Stapleton right now.
Yeah, I saw that too.
That's too
Yeah,
cool.
Chris, his drummer, I guess, was out, so he was filling in for him.
Yeah, Miles is a nice guy. He was really nice.
His drumming style, man, I love it. And
It's
Jared and
different,
I, when we've been working on some new material, and one thing that I love about the live album as well is that live you really can't. In a studio, you can sit there and like, oh, it needs this,
Right.
and you can actually overdub yourself to where it just draws the life out of the song because you just wind
You
up.
can.
It sounds really cool to add all this stuff in the song,
Yeah.
but at the end of the day, do you really need that in the song?
And you have to go replicate it.
Yeah, man. And so we were sitting there talking about the bass and drums, and Miles's name came up because I just love that style of
He's
like
got that-
just has a groove, almost a Levon-ish type
Yeah, he
groove,
does.
and,
Yeah,
and
he
like
does.
working the hi-hat a lot and kick. But it's just so groovy, the stuff he does, and it's real simple.
It is.
And sometimes the best stuff is the simplest stuff.
It is.
And man, I hope everybody will enjoy listening to our stuff though.
Well, again, thank you for taking the time to come do this. I know you're a busy person.
Yeah.
We've
Well,
had- and by the way, great set out at State Line Festival this past
Thank you.
weekend before last, I guess.
yeah, and thank you for coming out there and covering. I know I saw you at an episode of the podcast from there at State Line, and
Yeah.
that's a passion of mine too. Not many people know about is promoting festivals, and that one, another one here in Cleveland County. I'd started out doing Clear Mountain View up
Right,
at Elliott's,
yeah.
and then kind of once that one had kind of ran its course, I was still wanting to put on a festival, and the momentum was there, and so the Buffs approached me about having it at Shady Side, and it's really cool because it's just the opportunity to get to hire a lot of bands that
It
you
was,
love
and
love and get them to come play the show.
Sure, it was great. Plus, I saw some people in the interview, some people that people missed. That early on the festival, people aren't up.
Yeah.
But you had good headliners both nights, and actually all the acts were very talented.
Thank you. Yes, I thought every single act on the festival from, the very first act, 5 o'clock Friday. I think we had 16 or 17 over the course of the weekend.
Yeah.
And it's a big undertaking, but man, I was so proud of all the bands.
I thought they did.
I thought
really,
everybody
really
did
good.
awesome.
Yeah, I agree.
Man. I mean, like I said, and the majority of the bands there were from upstate South Carolina or here. The Corbett brothers, I think, are the only ones that they're from Florida. Anna Dasher's from Savannah, Georgia. Job Mother Mary's from down in the central part of the state. But pretty much, unless I'm missing somebody, every other act was from either upstate South Carolina or like western North Carolina. So
it was good. It was a good festival.
Fun. And next year we're already looking forward to next year, and this was our third one, but it was like our first one because
you lost the time in between.
Yeah, we lost
couldn't connect them really.
Yeah, we had 2 years we had to take off due to COVID.
Sure.
So.
Well, that was great too. So you are doing a lot of stuff besides just playing music, and you're doing good work for Cleveland County musically.
Thank you.
So.
Thank you. I'm like I said, I love the area we're from. Very proud of it. Anything I could do to uplift our home. Some of the times it eats me up too when I see on American Idol or some of these shows, and not knocking those shows because I like to each is his own, but I've seen several people that are like from small towns and they give this sob story about like, oh, there was nothing to do, man, go out and make there be something to do. There's
True, there is.
We've got we're blessed. It is a small town, but Shelby is a very supportive town. Cleveland County is a very supportive county.
Very musical.
The arts.
Yes, it is. I mean, there's a lot of good musicians, a lot of good music here. Mm-hmm. This is a fabulous venue that we're in.
Mm-hmm. It is.
So we're pretty fortunate.
Yes, sir, we are. Yeah, to get to do this and back to the album, this was our first show. I've always looked at the Don Gibson Theatere kind of as the, premier venue in Shelby, and it's such a beautiful room, and then the history with Don Gibson as a singer-songwriter. I never wanted to play here and have us a show unless we could really pack it out, sell it out, and blow it out. And that night was just, I can't even describe it to you. It was wild. I was worried if it would sell out. I didn't know, because there was a while, when we were starting out, some people kind of stubbed their nose a little bit and would refer to us as like a bar band, or because we'll play bike weeks, we'll play
Suck, bang,
wherever.
blow.
Yeah,
You're kings. You guys are kings of Suck, Bang, Blow.
Yeah, man, we're down there actually Wednesday and Thursday, and I don't even own a Harley. That's the funniest part. But a sit down venue like this, it really meant a lot to me to then how our show transferred into an environment like this, and it worked out beautifully. It was just a night I'll never forget.
Well, it was also people were just starting back. Crowds were just coming back out, so I know that had to be a worry. I mean, we were just coming out of the pandemic, and people were still like, I don't know, can I go? Can I not go? And obviously they came.
Yeah, it was surreal, and we've been very blessed in that aspect. We've had good crowds, great crowds. Most places we play, especially around the Carolinas, but even when we go off, the support we've seen is just,
Yeah.
I don't. It's hard to describe, Sandy, but it's just something I'm grateful for, and I say thank you a lot, and it's because I genuinely mean it, and you can't be, especially in times like right now, where diesel's $5.69, gas is over $4 a gallon. Times are tough, and for people to spend their money that they come hear you guys or buy our CD or whatever, that's a very humbling experience, and something I don't take for granted.
That's good. I mean, that's excellent. I can tell that you're pretty passionate about your fans. Mm-hmm. Besides your music, your fans, I think, are very important to you.
Yeah, it's very much so. It's kind of awkward, and it's kind of like a little bit weird for me to still hear the word fans.
Yeah.
Like, because, I try and a lot of them are so much more than that.
True.
I was talking with somebody earlier. Jennifer, who she had messaged me, and we had somebody, Joe and Renee Long, they lost their grandson tragically like a week ago. And, it really, really hit home for us personally. Right. And the folks that come to our shows, they become so much more than fans. A lot of them,
family almost.
Yeah, and that's the thing I'm most grateful for through music, Sandy, is that there's so many people like us sitting here right now, just things that would have never got to do, relationships we've made that I would have never got to do if not for music. And so you take the whole financial aspect out of it, just the personal relationships and all that mean more to me than any amount of record sales or anything could ever matter.
We'll talk about magic moments. We both shared this. Okay, we have both done a Don Gibson song in the Don Gibson Theater.
Yes, sir.
You talk about moments you can do and play a lot of things, but that's one of the cooler things that I personally have ever done out of everything I've done. It's just too cool to do a Don Gibson song in the Don Gibson Theater.
It is. It's so awesome. Miss Bobby was here that night too, and she said she loved it. I hope she really did and wasn't just saying that being nice, but yeah, we did Don't Tell Me Your Troubles is the one we did, and we definitely changed up the arrangement on it a little bit, and it was just so cool. I wanted to honor him in that way, and we've obviously with Don and then Earl Scruggs, those are your two. If we have a Mount Rushmore of Cleveland County music, those guys are definitely they're definitely on it for certain. And we've got the banjo playing, so I wanted to give a little ode to Don Gibson by doing that song on the album.
That's good. That's really, really good. It's I can't wait to go through it and listen to it. So
yes, sir. Let me know what you think.
I'll do it. Well, I appreciate you coming out and doing this.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me. I would love to have had all the guys on here, but I think Lance and Chris have been on the episode.
They have, and I'm working on getting
Glenn and Jerry.
Yes, I am.
We'll have to get them up here.
We will. So
you'll have to come down. Plum Hollow Festival actually is where we're doing our album release at.
Sure.
You ever been down? You've been down to Plum Hollow before, haven't you?
I played with Barney.
I knew there was some kind of connection there.
Yeah, I've been there before. So
yeah, if you played with Barney, then there's probably all kinds of stories you could tell.
Or not.
Or not. Yeah, or I don't know how deep we want to go into them on the podcast, but maybe once we turn the podcast off, we can tell those stories.
Yeah. But again, I appreciate you coming out and doing this, and let's do this again sometime.
Yes, sir. I would love to. Anytime I can be on here.
All right. Thank you.
Well, don't tell me your troubles. I got troubles of my own. You don't tell me your trouble. No, just leave me alone. Leave me alone. Go on, on. Tell it to a friend. Oh, yeah, I got trouble of my own. When you say your sweet love left you, so tell me what you think about me. Yeah, I got the same old heartache. I got the same old misery. So leave me alone. Go on, on. Won't you tell it to a friend? Oh, yeah, I got trouble of my own. You see, it happens to the best of us. Well, that's what they always say. So listen here, brother, won't you take it like a minute? Don't you stand in my way. Tell me that she's no good. She about made you sick of me. You got it written all over your face. Well,